Hello, everybody. So it is a pleasure for me to be here and to speak to you as a technician. I'm not a political guy. I would like to mention that I will be assisted if necessary, if it would be too technical, by my PhD student, Oliver Spiecher. And I would like to tell you today a little bit the experiences we made in Switzerland with e-voting from my, let's say, scientific point of view. I have to emphasize that this is not the official Swiss statement which I'm going to make today. The official Switzerland is represented by Mr. Frey. If you have questions, let's say, about the official opinion, then you should not raise them to me, or maybe you can, but the answer will not be official. So, I'm a professor and teacher at one hand, and on the other hand, I'm a researcher, and the research topic is currently security in general, and more specific e-voting. And we are studying this field since, let's say, more than 3 years now. It's not very long. It's a difficult field from a technical point of view. It's an interesting field, and I'm going to tell you why we study this research topic, while still a research topic, because you may ask, you may raise the question, why do we spend so much time? Because we have e-voting systems in Switzerland. We not only have one, we have three. So why? Okay. So we are a group of researchers and teachers. We are 3 full-time professors and 1 part-time professor. And we are linked together with a few other professors from other universities and University of Applied Sciences, so we are not alone. That's why we have founded the Swiss e-voting Competence Center. It should be a point which represents, let's say, the technical strength of these e-voting systems. We are not going to be and become political. We just want to be competent about e-voting systems, and maybe to tell people, if you are asked, what are maybe the difficulties and what might be the solutions. That's our role, how we define ourselves. Okay. We are in close relationship with the Federal Chancellery of Switzerland. This is important, such in the way that we do not just, let's say, work alone and do not seek for the relationships with the, let's say, official Switzerland, but we are working more or less close together, but still informally. I have 2 parts today. I would start with the first part. It's a Swiss case. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the situation in Switzerland. And in the second part, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what are the technical issues as we see them today. It's not really there I am very competent, but let me remind you that we have in Switzerland different political levels, as in other countries as well. And Switzerland is a small country, and it's complicated. But it's interesting. So we have 3 political levels, and these levels play an important role for many issues. For instance, the right to organize polls or elections is allocated to cantons. It's not on the federal level. The cantons are responsible to carry out the elections or votes. And so this is, has an impact on how, let's say, things, if we have to introduce new things like e-voting, has to be organized. All the cantons, we have 26 cantons, have to be put onto at the same table, and they have to think about it. So that's why there is, for instance, a e-voting group which is discussing, is still discussing and was discussing the e-voting issues, let's say now 10 years ago, and they are, let's say, pushing it and organizing it, and they are responsible. So this has happened without us. Well, in addition, I would like to say that we have a direct democracy. This is something which I personally believe in as well, and this makes things also in that sense more complicated. But we, in general, we have to give our vote, let's say, 4 times a year, so in the average. Okay, so we are engaged very often a year. We have to study the material. We have to think about what is the opinion of as a citizen, and I have to give my vote. I have to, in the sense that I can. I will come back to this as well. And we have a lot of autonomy on non-federal levels. Okay, so. And then maybe the last point which I would like to mention, we have also Swiss living abroad, and they are somewhat, to my knowledge, well organized, and they want to participate on the issues going on in Switzerland. So they will keep the relationship with Switzerland, and they want to participate. And the representatives of these Swiss people living abroad are quite strong, and they are in favor of e-voting, and that's a good thing, because if these people living abroad have to give their vote by, let's say, as they have to do right now, by postal mail, this is an issue, because postal mail takes many times too much time to arrive in time. Well, coming to e-voting in Switzerland, we have, I have to quote, a long history in e-voting. The first legally binding referendum or poll was carried out in January 19th, 2003. It's quite a while ago. We have it used in the meantime for many referendum, and I must say, it's not the complete Switzerland, all the cantons, all the 26 cantons which have e-voting. There are only 3 cantons which have e-voting. These are the cantons Geneva, Neuchâtel and Zurich. And these e-voting systems have been used on the federal, cantonal and communal municipal level. Okay, so on 3 levels they have been used for polls. They have been used for elections too, but only on the communal and on the cantonal level, not on the federal level so far. And not in all cantons. For instance, Canton of Geneva has never used it for elections so far, to my knowledge. Okay. Then there is an issue from the Confederation that only 10% up to now of the electorate of all people having a right to vote are allowed to vote by electronic means. This 10% has been introduced. I cannot really explain why exactly 10%, but it is a figure which has been carefully thought about it. And this figure will be raised to 20% in, if I'm not wrong, from the beginning of next year. And of course, people in favor of e-voting, for instance, all the cantons would like to raise it to 100%. I just said, of course, I mean, they believe in their system, and they don't see the reasons why they should not, their systems should not be used by all the people. Then I talk about e-voting in Switzerland. I actually mean internet voting. We do not have these DREs. These are these machines which you place into the poll stations and where you can give your vote. We don't have them. We only have internet-based voting, and I have taken here a picture from the EU recommendation 2004/11, which makes a sort of a layout of what can be understood by e-voting. And we have remote e-voting. This is what we have, and it's internet-based e-voting. We had some SMS voting for just a short moment in time in the canton of Zurich, but this has been given up, and I don't know, but they will not use it anymore, I guess. It's a conjecture. And internet voting means by web-based applications. This distinction between www and applet is somewhat not very, from a technical point, not very wise. For instance, a web application today, a web application today may involve traditional HTML, but for sure JavaScript and maybe Java applets. So it's a browser-based application which is going to be used in all these three systems. And of course, in technical terms, it makes a little bit a difference if you look carefully where things are computed, where things are encrypted, etc. But I'm not going to go too much in technical details. Now, maybe a slide which is more interesting for you is a little bit the history in Switzerland. So first thing started at the beginning of the year 2000. Things have been developed. I must say that the system of Geneva, GE stands for Geneva, NE for Neuchâtel, ZH for Zurich. Okay. Things started in 2007, and the system of Geneva is an own-made system made by the canton of Geneva. The same thing holds true for Zurich. Zurich has more also engaged a company, which both cantons have also, of course, engaged companies to make their system. But Neuchâtel has bought a system, and it's a system which comes from Spain, and it's a system which comes from Barcelona. And it's well, I don't tell the company, you can find it out by yourself. So we have, let's say, one system which has been bought and two systems which has been made by ourselves. And so things started, and the symbols, a circle, a blue circle, means that the e-voting system has been used on the federal level. The rectangle, or the square, denotes or indicates that the system has been used on the cantonal level, and the triangle denotes that it has been used on the communal level. And I have also indicated with stars, I hope you can see them, that these systems have been used also for elections, not only for referendums, but also for elections. But if you look carefully, these systems have only been used for elections on the communal level and on the cantonal level, never so far on the federal level.